Hello, how we all doing? I'll hop over to this tab. Okay, so we're getting into week 5, if you're watching this, and we've made it to rock and roll, woo, which is the name of this class. I gasp. So, what we're gonna do this week, instead of just doing the notes and the things like we've been doing, which we're gonna do to some extent, but not this week. This week, week 5, we're actually gonna do a project. Now, normally in non-COVID history of rock and roll, you would have a group with either a partner or a third person, and you would collaborate and do a presentation about an artist that is assigned to you. Now, we can't really do that. I guess we could, but I'm actually thinking working solo is going to be better because I have no way of ensuring you can get time to work together if we do it online. So I'm going to give everyone an individual project to work on. You're going to have an artist that was important in the founding of the sound of rock and roll. Now, rock and roll was really only a very short amount of time, 2, 3, 4 years, right there in the mid-50s, give or take. And yeah, it was there and then it was gone, and we're going to talk more about that. But what I want to focus on this week more than the timeline is the people, the artists that made the music that we define as actual, true, pure rock and roll. So in another document that's on Classroom, there is a list. I'll pull it up right now. I think it's this one. Yes. And I've got all your names there and which artist you're going to be learning about. Now, a few of them are redundant because there's more of you than there are of artists. You're not working with the other person. You're doing your own, everyone's doing their own separate projects. Okay, so don't be confused by that. I kind of just did it randomly. I apologize if you wanted someone in particular, but typically you wind up learning something more because if you do someone you already know a lot about, you're not really learning anything new. So hopefully you all have someone who you're not super familiar with. That's kind of the goal. And yeah, so what you're going to do, I'll go over to this. All right, in Google Slides, not Docs, Slides, you're going to make a presentation. Now, sadly, you will not get to actually present it to anyone but me, but you can pretend that you're presenting to your class if you would like, whatever. But it's just going to be me. And after I grade them, I might put all the links somewhere where your classmates can see them, but you don't get to like talk and present your project. So yeah, make it as if you're presenting to not just me, I guess, but your classmates, because they might see your slides, but you won't get to like narrate your slides, I guess is my point. So what we're going to do, you've got your person and, well, first of all, I'm just going to say this because every year it happens and it blows my mind. Don't just copy paste stuff and stick it on a slide and pretend you wrote it. That's plagiarism. That's bad. Also, I'm not stupid. I'm going to see it and know you didn't write that. Like, no offense, you're a high school kid. There's no way you're writing like some article that's in like Rolling Stone and that, you know what I mean? Like, I'll be able to tell. So don't do that. Plus, if I'm not sure, I can just copy paste what you put it in Google, and if something pops up, then I know you stole it. So don't be stupid. Don't just word for word do stuff. Take what you read, synthesize it, and then put it into a simplified form on your slide, okay? Don't steal. All right. You can use a quote, however. Like, let's say there's a quote in a magazine, Chuck Berry was a god on the guitar and loved cheese pizza, whatever. You can quote that, put quotes around it, and then put dash Rolling Stone magazine. So you're using a source, okay? You're not saying, I wrote this quote because I interviewed Chuck Berry and he told me he likes cheese pizza, okay? So you can quote, but don't plagiarize or steal. Okay, in addition to text, I want these to be pretty. I want your slides to have pictures. I want your slides to have video clips. I want them to have GIFs. I want them to have cool backgrounds. I want it to be like engaging for me to read, interesting for both the brain and the eyeballs, okay? Don't just have white slides, type plain 9-point font that I can't even see. Like, make it beautiful. And I'll be going in throughout the week and making comments. Hey, make this bigger. Put this picture over here. I will be helping you kind of with the aesthetics and maybe, hey, try this website to find out about their childhood, etc. So I will be helping you, but everyone's going to have to take responsibility for their own project. Okay, here is an example format. You do not have to follow this exactly, but I would like all these things covered, okay? You don't have to go in this order. This is like a sort of chronological order. If you wanted to start at the end of their career, like when they were super famous, and then go back to the childhood, that's fine. If you want to start with childhood, which is what I'd recommend because it's easy for people to follow, that's fine. But honest, or you can start with their music if you'd like. I really don't care. I just want you to cover all these topics. This is just a suggestion. I also don't want it to be like one slide. You need, I'd say, at least 12 if you're counting a title and an end. Okay, so 10 content slides and then 2 on the ends to make it look pretty. So a title slide, don't just put their name. Cool pictures or a cool, maybe a marquee with their name on it, something interesting. The first couple slides talk about their early family life. Where were they born? Where's their family from? What their parents do? How'd they, what's their story, right? What's their origin story? The next slide, biography part 2, their teen years. When did they get into music? Who influenced their music? What did they listen to? Did they get married? Did they have kids? Did they get divorced? Did their spouse pass away? Like, give me the details. I want to know all these things. And I've done this class for 6-7 years, multiple times a year, and I always learn something new in these presentations. So please give me interesting information. I enjoy them. Then the next slide, talk about their career. Like, what happened? Were they in a band? Were they a solo artist? Did they get discovered? Did they get a record deal? Were they on TV? Like, what made them become famous? What was their breakthrough? Maybe they had a big hit, right? And then all of a sudden they were super famous. Talk about any failures they may have had. Maybe they were super famous for like 6 months and then fell off the face of the earth. Maybe they went on tour. Maybe they were in a movie, right? Like, give me all the details. Slides 5, 6, 7. I want you to pick 3 songs that define this artist. Now, I would prefer them to be from the rock and roll era we're talking about. So like 1955, 6, 7, right in there. They don't need to be. At least one needs to be. At least one. If you want to do one from a later career, that's fine. But you need to be sure you notate on there like, hey, this is from when they were older. Because otherwise people might think the song from when they're older was from the 50s, and it would be confusing when they take the test. So you want to help your peers out to know when the music was. Okay? And again, don't just go to YouTube and grab the first one you see. Actually, do a little digging. Was this a big hit? Was it on the charts? Were they on TV playing this song? Like, do some research. Don't just pick the first video and not even watch it. Every year, someone picks a video that has like 5 minutes of talking at the beginning, and they put it on there, and they don't even know. They go to present and they hit play, and they never watch the video, and you can tell, like, watch the dang video, okay? Don't be silly. All right, slide 8. Awards. Are they in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame? Are they in the Country Music Hall of Fame? Do they have a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame? Did they win a Grammy? Right? Like, what have they won? What have they done? What did they achieve in their life? Not that awards are everything, but, kind of sum up, like, what was their legacy, 9, interesting facts. I like having a one of just interesting facts. One of our artists on this list was like blind in one eye. That's interesting. One of our artists on here had an enormous amount of children. One of our artists on here had 10 kids, all with their names all start with A. Like, there's just interesting facts about each of these artists, and I want to hear them. Slide 10, their fate. Is this person still alive? Did they pass away? If they did, when and how? Did they write music when they were old, or did they get out of music entirely? What's their story? And then the last slide, their legacy. What impact did this person have on music history, on American culture? Who did they influence in music? Maybe an artist you like today was influenced by one of these artists. So share about that, okay? And again, don't just copy paste. Like, read stuff. Read words with your eyes and your brain, and then tell me the story, okay? I'm looking for your interpretation of what you learned about this person. And then give me a nice ending slide. Okay? So the depth and accuracy of information, don't put stuff on there that's not accurate. Do some searching. If you see multiple sources that say the same thing, it's probably more reliable. Creativity and layout. Okay? I will not obviously be grading you on the presenting of it because you will not be here, so you escaped that one on the public speaking bit. You also will not be graded on what your partner did because you won't have a partner. Haha, gotcha. So it'll mainly be depth and accuracy of information and your creativity and layout. Okay? No typos. If you type a period, type a space before your next sentence. Capitalize I, capitalize names, capitalize song titles. Okay? If you have any questions, please message me. I think I'll be posting an example. I might not because my example is of one of the artists and I don't want someone to just copy mine. So, I'll figure something out. I'll post some sort of example of some sort, even if it's a made up person, and you guys can use that. So I'll get started on that. You get started on this. Make sure you make the new presentation, like a new slide presentation, and then click the blue share button and share it with me, jolson@fhlancers.com. Okay, I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.